Everyone say hello.
Hello.
Here's the outline.
%. What is 33%? In the span of a human's life, we have one activity that we focus on 33% of the time. That's a large amount. What is it? It's sleep. And we don't even think about it. It's unconscious to us. To give you a different perspective, by the time someone is 75 years old, they will have slept 25 years of their life in an unconscious state. Sleep is important. We all know that. Some people love sleep. They can't wait to go to bed at night, and some people dread it. It has this love-hate relationship in our society. Now, why am I talking about sleep? Well, I am because a lot of people struggle with sleep. And so it's something called sleep deprivation. What is sleep deprivation? Sleep deprivation is when you don't get an adequate amount of sleep or your quality of sleep is affected. Now, I want to make a major point here. Sleep deprivation and insomnia are not the same thing. Insomnia is when you put your head down at night to go to sleep, you close your eyes, and you can't fall asleep. Sleep deprivation, as we had discussed, is when you don't get a normal amount of sleep in a 24-hour period, which is roughly 6 to 8 hours of sleep is usually needed. Okay? Insomnia can cause sleep deprivation, but they're not the same thing. The Cleveland Clinic notes that 50 to 70 million Americans are affected by sleep deprivation at any one time, at any given point. So if you struggle with sleep, just know you're not alone. Why am I talking about sleep deprivation today? Am I a doctor? Am I an expert in the field? No, I'm not. I'm a nighttime shift worker, and I struggle with sleep all the time. In general, I notice my sleep quality is less, and sometimes I have to compromise on the quantity of my sleep to do normal things in life, to hang out with family, to go to school, to work out, whatever it may be. So sleep has a very intimate point in my life, and I struggle with it. What does it feel like when we're sleep deprived? We all know what it feels like. We all know what it generally feels like. You wake up, you're groggy, you kind of feel hungover, you might have a headache, you just don't feel that normal energy that you would feel if you got 6 to 8 hours of sleep. Now, the Cleveland Clinic also notes that almost every system in the human body is affected by sleep. Okay? The heart, the gut, even our mental health is affected. Okay? And this is the stuff I want to talk about now. The first thing I'd like to talk about is the metabolism. Okay? What is metabolism? We talk about metabolism all the time. We think about it, oh, my metabolism slowed down, or it's sped up, it's related to weight loss, etc., right? In general, our metabolism is the totality of all the chemical and physical processes in our body that help convert nutrients to energy. Okay? It's very important. It's used to sustain all humans' lives. Now, there was a study by Davies and colleagues. They took two groups of people. One group was a control group, and one group was the group they experimented on. They kept that one group, that was the experimental group, they kept them up 24 hours, okay? And they studied their metabolites, both groups. They found that the control group, who slept on average 6 to 8 hours a night, their metabolites fluctuated, okay? These metabolites consisted of cortisol and serotonin, tryptophan, and taurine, okay? They found that the other group, the experimental group who stayed awake for 24 hours straight and was sleep deprived, their metabolites increased continually. They didn't fluctuate like a normal person's would with a sleep-wake cycle. Okay, and they found that this increase in metabolites also increases the risk of diabetes and obesity. Okay? They also found, well, that's all they found. Sorry about that. The next thing I'd like to talk about is the gut microbiome. We've been hearing all these things about the gut microbiome and how important it is, and the gut-brain axis, and there's still a lot of stuff to unveil in that area. But another group, Sean and colleagues, they did a study in 2014 on mice. not humans, on mice, but sometimes they do studies on mice because there's similar bodily functions. And they took a similar two groups. One group was a control group. The other group was the experimental group that they kept awake for 24 hours straight. Okay, they found that the mice group that was awake for 24 hours straight had a major decrease in the richness and the variety of their microbiome. Okay, there's still a lot to understand and to break down there, but in general, it's recommended to have a diverse and varied microbiome. Okay, they also found in the study that mice's anxiety increased in the group that was awake for 24 hours. Okay, in the same study, they also studied a inflammatory marker called cytokines. Cytokines are involved in our immune system. They help with inflammation, but long-term inflammation can be damaging to the body. They found that the mice that stayed awake for 24 hours had increased markers of cytokines or inflammation, which in the long term can be dangerous. Okay? The third area I want to talk about is mental health. Mental health, we all talk about it. It's important, take a mental health day. It's getting more attention these days, which is good. There was a study by Fasikin and colleagues where they polled 318,000 people, which is it's a large polling of people. And when they polled those people, they found that those who slept on average 5 hours or less a night, which constitutes sleep deprivation, they found that those people had 5.3 poor mental health days in a given 30-day period, and 4.4 poor physical health days in a 30-day period. So people who struggled with sleep and were sleep deprived struggled mentally and physically. Okay, we all know sleep is important. It's integral to our life. More studies need to be done to unfold and unpack all the effects that sleep and sleep deprivation have on our bodies. But yeah, I appreciate you guys coming to my talk. Thank you so much. We're going to now open it up to a Q&A if anyone has any questions. Kate?
Anything about sleep affecting motor functions?
Yeah, so there was a study that I hadn't talked about in here specifically, but there was a study that discussed how if you go 24 hours without sleep, then it's equivalent to like having a blood alcohol of 0.10. So it does affect coordination and eye coordination, hand-eye coordination and whatnot. Thank you, and that was a great question.
Can you make up a sleep deficit?
That's a great question. And honestly, I didn't study that part. Because of this being an informative speech, I didn't want to do anything that persuaded the audience or anything, but I can get back to you on that. So I appreciate that, and thank you for the question. That's all for questions today. Thank you guys so much, and have a good day.